So I know we just made a video on how to multiply exponents, but there's something really important I need to get across to you guys. Let's do rainbow glitter today. Okay. If you have exponents and you're multiplying them, they have to have the same base. And I talked about this on the slide. I think I'm too high up. Oh, let me write. I talked about this on the slide before this. Yes. How if you don't have the same bases, then when you expand it out, you're really just going to end up with the exact same thing again. But when you do have the same basis with variables, this isn't really an issue, but with numbers, it is. A very common mistake that people make is instead of expanding this out, so being 4 times 4 and 4 times 4 times 4, if you add this up, you should get 4 to the 5th power. A very common mistake that people make is they multiply the bases. So they do 4 times 4 is 16, and then they add the exponents. Now, adding the exponents isn't wrong, and you will figure that out as you go through this in your problem today. But multiplying the bases, that's very wrong. These are two very different things. This is wrong. This is correct. Okay? Do not multiply your bases. These are not saying that I now have 16. They are saying simply that I have 5 4s, not 16. My base should never change unless I were to multiply all of the 4s together, okay? And in that case, 4 to the 5th power, you can take your calculator out and do this with me. And I'll do a tutorial on how to do exponents on your calculator probably next week. Once we get into square roots. If my calculator will let me do that. Okay, so we have 4 to the 5th power, which ends up being 1024. So that's all of these 4s multiplied together is 1024. Okay, but if we were to do 16 to the 5th power, that is, let's scroll down so I can write this horrendously long number. 16 to the 5th power is 1,048,576. Now, is that anything close to 1024? No, it's not. And which one would you rather deal with? The tiny one or the ridiculously long one? Blake, I can just hear you saying, I'd like to do with the long one. In general, we'd like to work with the smaller one. Okay, do not multiply your bases unless you want to work with what really truly gets to be some ridiculously long numbers. Okay, before I move on from here, I want to do one more thing for you guys. I kind of showed you guys that with variables in the last slide, why we can't do two bases and combine them, but I want to like really show you guys that with two numbered bases, because again, people's first instinct is to multiply these. So they would end up with 20 to the 5th power. Now what we're looking at right now. What we have here, if we expand it out, always when you're in doubt, expand out. That's my motto. If you're not sure how something works, expand it, becomes immediately clear. I have 2 5s. This is the exact same problem we ran into with variables, is I have 3 4s and I've ended up exactly where I was. Okay? Now, some people will say, yeah, but I could just, this does not equal, I want to make that clear. I could just multiply the bases and add the exponents. Again, adding the exponents, totally fine to do. Okay, I'm hoping you'll come to that conclusion. But multiplying the bases, not okay, and we'll show you why that's not okay again. Okay, let's take, oop, gotta go back to my writing tool. 5 squared equals 25. We're going to multiply that by 4 to the third power. 4 to the third power is 4 times 4 times 4, so 4 times 4 is 8 times, let's get rid of that, we'll do that later. 8 times another 4, which ends up being, or I'm sorry guys, I've done this totally wrong. I'm going to refresh that. Okay, 4 times 4 is not 8, 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4 is 64. My stylus is not wanting to work this morning. That's weird. Okay. So 4 to the third power is 64. Take these two together, we're going to multiply them. So 5 to the second power times 4 to the third power is equal to 25 times 64, which is equal to, handy dandy calculator, 25 times 64 is 1,600. Okay, let's compare that to 20 to the fifth power, which is what people keep getting when they multiply the bases. 20 to the fifth power, you can already guess it, is not a nice number. It is huge and unnecessary. 20 to the fifth power is 3,200,000. Again, what would you rather work with? The huge unnecessary number or the correct answer, which is much smaller and easy to work with? Okay? And that's what I was hoping to get across for you today. If you have any questions, please show up to office hours at any point during this week. I just want you guys to show up once just to check in, make sure you're alive, make sure you have internet, tell me how your day was. I miss seeing all your faces. So show up, come talk with me, just for a couple minutes, and I'll know you're alive and well. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you sometime this week.